Hello. Welcome to today's live stream, or if you watch it as a replay, welcome. And I want to say thank you for being here. Like, I'm asking myself, why am I here? Why am I doing this? It's hard. It seems easy. But when I'm honest, it's not that easy. It's each time overcoming fears. To be sitting here, exposing myself live to nobody listening live. Having to deal with all the patterns who come up around that fact. And I know there are some people who watch my YouTube channel, and I have gotten quite a nice feedback of people too, that they appreciate what I'm doing. So I think that keeps me going. Even if there is one person who can take something out of this, it's worthwhile doing. That's at least what I tell myself. I don't know if that's the truth. I'm driven by something doing this. And, well, when I go into my doubts, like right now, then usually I remember trust. And that helps me to keep going and to say, it's just what it needs to be. So just do it. So now let's just take a moment to build a nice G field. I need it. This theme today is very present. Okay, so close your eyes if you can. Otherwise, just listen. Let's take a few deep breaths. Connecting in with the body, with the present moment by feeling the body, by feeling the breath. Breath is such a wonderful tool to come into the presence. And then let's connect into this beautiful heart we have, and let's remember this bright light there. It's so easy to forget and to get lost in the darkness. But there's so much beauty and light and love in our heart. And let's just feel how different it feels when we connect in with that. Allowing the tensions in the heart to release. Allowing the grip the heart is keeping on itself to soften. Allowing ourselves to just surrender. To this light. To this quality of love. It's there. And there is the quality of trust there too, of unconditional trust. For me, it is that trust that it's okay to just be here the way I am. And the fact that I am here means that I need to be here. Just feel that trust. And then open your arms. And bring this bright light and love and trust back to your heart. So, what happens when light shines on fear? I've looked at my fears in the last few months more openly, more sincerely than I ever have done in my life, because only in the last few months they have actually become visible. They have been well hidden before, well safely hidden in the darkness. And now, as we know, when it's dark somewhere and you can't see anything, in some ways it keeps everything that is maybe scary to look at hidden. And if I then can put in also this ability to ignore completely also the knowing what there might be there in the darkness. I don't even allow myself to go there to imagine that. Then, well, we are blind. We are completely controlled. And the reason why we do it is because it feels safer. It feels safer not to see what is in the darkness. And it might have been a very good reason up until now for me to keep these fears in the darkness. But not anymore. Not anymore. I know that I am ready. Maybe my trust is now strong enough with all the work I have done on trust over the years to allow myself to see what is in this darkness. And I used a picture of the spotlight on my YouTube Facebook post because it did feel a little bit lately like that. It did feel a bit like, more like these prison um, spotlights, in the movies when the light up on the prison tower is kind of going around checking out if there is anything in the surrounding, anybody escaping or whatever. And so the light moves and lightens up different parts. And that's a bit how it felt for me. So that when sometimes that light suddenly lightened up part of this darkness, I was overwhelmed with what I saw. It was like a flashing up of that fear that is there. And it's not nice. It's not nice to have this light shining on the fear. Because what is hidden in the darkness is all all the things which are hard to look at. And so I was ready to face it, because when that light came onto the sphere, it was like an electric shock for me. It was a it really felt like I was plugged into an electricity source, and it was zing, and then the light kind of moved on, and so I could kind of like ease out of that electric shock. But the good thing is, I'm in the place now where I say, wow, wow, I just have seen this. What is it? I just have seen this electric shock. I recognize this feeling. I I have had this before. I know this feeling. It's awful. What is it? What is it? Like, first, I just saw the feeling actually. I didn't even know really that it's fear. I only discovered that when I was investigating. So what I more or less did is, like, that spotlight has been shining that light on this feeling for a moment, and then it moved on. But I decided to spend more time to to find out what this feeling is about. What is it? And for me, when I went deeper into this electric shock feeling, there came I could observe lots of physical reactions. It's like, when you get an electric shock, it's like on, and the heart is "Zzz," and the hair are I don't know. And I could feel all these things. And I really tried to investigate this feeling. Was compassion and love. So it wasn't like, "Oh, this is so awful. You're so awful. This is a horrible feeling." And, there was no judgment there. There was just kind of like, "Oh, wow, I know this feeling." And then I kind of could see that this feeling is there all the time, but it's hidden in the dark. And only because I have seen now a few moments of that spotlight shining on this feeling, I'm actually aware of it. And so, exploring this feeling, asking myself, what is this feeling about? I could feel this very, very, very deep fear, very deep fear. And I just allowed myself to feel that, to feel that fear. And really, that fear felt exactly like this experience of that electric shock I described. Overwhelming, actually. So it's not a surprise, and it's not a bad thing that it has been hiding in the dark, because it's pretty scary to feel this fear. So it's a self-protection to not see it. But I'm on my path of growth now, in a place that I know the only way of growing further is to look at these fears, to feel everything, to face every pattern. because fears are patterns and they are real and they are protecting us for whatever reason. So there is always a good reason for a pattern. And there is a very good reason for the fear. But the time is now for me and for you and for all of us humans to not hide anymore, to not pretend anymore. Well, it's not even a pretending. Pretending sounds like a judgment. It's not a judging. It's really deepest compassion for myself. And actually for everybody. It's not an easy journey to start to face the fears. It makes us very vulnerable. It's scary. Because that we thought has been protecting us. So the fear is protecting us. We're looking at it. And we're trying to remove that protection by looking at it and by replacing it with something much more beneficial. Like feeling like I'm getting an electric shock is awful. It doesn't feel nice. I don't want that anymore. No, I don't want it anymore. I want to feel that love that is inside of me all the time. And by me shining light on the fear and investigating the fear and finding out what the fears are about, if they are true, if I still need to have them, I can shine, I can allow that is already there to shine out of my heart, and that is all the beautiful heart qualities. That's what I want. That's what my aim is to achieve, to realize. It's my heart being free to be what it is instead of being covered up by this darkness and fear. And so when I went deeper into questioning, what are the fears about? What is this fear about? Because it's clear, it's fear. But what am I afraid of? What am I so afraid of? And again, I have so much compassion for myself, for all that I'm afraid of. Because it's so real. And if I tell you what I'm afraid of, I'm really, really, really afraid of being alone, of not being liked, which is kind of the same as alone, isn't it? If I'm not liked, then I'm alone because nobody wants to be with me. There is a lot of fear of being left behind in a, like, the best way I can describe this is kind of like if you think about a group of people who live together, who look after each other, who work with each other for survival, for support, loving each other. And I'm that little Sabina who is left behind, who's pushed out, more or less. These are primal fears. These are primal fears. And we all have these fears. It's not specific to me. All of us humans have these primal fears. And we now can face them. Because I'm not left behind. Because I'm not alone. Because I'm not liked. It's all a construction of my mind, of something that might happen in the future. Fear of something. It's not real. That's why I can break it all down and say, well, what is real? What is real? It's real that now in this present moment, I am beautiful, bright light and love. I am love. Everybody and everything is love. And even if I would be alone, and even if I would be left behind, I am always that light and that love. Nothing and nobody can take that away from me. Only I can take that away from me by not seeing that, by allowing the fear of something that might happen or that construct of my mind. That's what can take that away from me. And I don't want that anymore. I don't want that anymore. And at the same time, I want to be patient because I know there is more to see. There's always layers to see before we can move on. And so in Renshui, when it comes to this investigation of our emotions, of our patterns, of our feelings, of all that is not beneficial to us and life and everything, actually. If something is not beneficial to me, it's also not beneficial to anything else. So it's important to look at that too, you know. So we can replace, we can replace this feeling. So for me, this feeling of fear, of electric shock, is something that shows me that fear. So what am I doing? I'm trying to always notice when I feel that, when it is there. And then I say, well, my replacement pattern is to remember my light, my heart, and the love inside. And so in that moment, I make this switch. I make a switch from being absorbed by this mind construction fear to being in my heart in the present moment and connecting to what is in there. And I might have to make the switch constantly, again and again, each time when this fear comes up, each time this feeling comes up, each time I feel electric shock. I remember, oh, my heart. Oh, that feels so nice. Might not always be easy. Sometimes I might just say, I don't really want to now connect to my heart. That can happen too. And that's okay. Remember, no judgment, complete compassion, complete love. Whatever is needing to happen needs to happen. But when there is that moment that moment of openness where I realize, oh, I have a choice. Oh, I can bring conscious awareness to my heart. Then I do that. And there may come a time, or there will come a time, or how could we put this into the present? There is this time when I don't even feel this fear anymore. When I have that awareness of that beautiful, bright heart filled with love right there with me. And the fear has disappeared. That spotlight is moving around, and then there is no fear anymore to to make visible. This is growth. This is growth. And the potential in this, for me as an individual, but also for us as a human tribe, for us living on this beautiful planet, needing to grow to survive, to be able to live a positive life, a free life, a life filled with light and love. It's so worth facing the fear. It's so worth doing it, even if it feels awful and uncomfortable. And sometimes it feels unbearable. But if I remember my heart, then it becomes possible and something is opening up. And then I can just connect in with trust that it's all happening the way it needs to happen. And it does start with feeling everything. Without holding on to anything, without being attached to anything. Just feeling with acceptance and understanding. And then taking action. It sounds to me as these steps is actually what we need on an individual, but also on a societal level. We need to look, we need to see, we need to feel, and we need to take action. There's always action needed. Without action, things stay in the dark. If I see this light going around and I see this fear and I feel this shock and I don't take actions, I just keep ignoring it, and hope that the light is not shining on it anymore, then I don't change anything. Then there's no progress there. This is why we need to open our eyes and to open our heart and face our patterns honestly, sincerely, openly, embracing them as the path for us to grow and to recognize who we really are, which is that bright light and pure love. Okay. Well, all my self-doubts before this life have kind of disappeared a little bit. There might be something in this, what I just shared, for somebody. And if it is like some motivation to remember what the light has showed, maybe this morning or yesterday or a week ago, but you might not have had the courage yet to investigate. Maybe this can be a motivation to go and investigate, sit down and ask the questions. Investigate, face with true openness, with all this compassion and love for yourself. Whatever is coming up, you can face it. And you will only grow and allow this bright light to be more present for you. And by doing this, we help the world. We all want to help this world. It's that simple. It's working on ourselves which saves this world. Let's do it. Let's do it fully, openly, honestly, radically. Fuck it. Let's just do it. Okay. I hope you can feel my heart, because I really, really care for you. Very, very much. And I really love for all of us to do this work, for us to be able to go to this place of experiencing who we really are, because it's so beautiful. Okay. Open your arms. Feel the love. The love for you. This presence of love in you, in your life, in everything, even in the fear, even in that whatever you see. It's there for you. It's love there for you to grow. Thank you. Bring it back to your heart. And remember again and again who you are, this beautiful bright light. Thank you for listening. Bye. I love you.